Shalom, Israel. I hope everyone has a good day. Hey, I want to tell y'all, ask y'all once again. I'm going to tell y'all once again, get yourselves ready with the Most High, please. Because this last dream I had, I say last night, but this morning, I was walking down the street. I wasn't here in my hometown of Memphis. I was somewhere else. But I was walking down the street, and a bunch of fighter jets started shooting over my head. I mean, one after the other. I mean, they were real low. It's like they were flying maybe like 10 to 15 feet over my head. And once again, it was somebody else with me, but 99% of the time, I don't see who's with me, but I hear them and I feel them. But they were flying over my head, and I was looking, and as they fly over my head real low, at some point they darted up into the clouds. After about, I think 9 or 10 of them, I was like, I wasn't seeing anything happen. So I was like, well, maybe this is a practice drill or something. So, but when I looked up, I was looking at the clouds. They were just disappearing into a big old cloud. And I didn't see anything. But then I looked up again, and I did see lights flashing. And the person that was with me, as I said, I always got angels with me, but I can't ever see them. It said, it's not a practice drill. So when I looked up, lights were flashing and strobing in the cloud, and it was a big ass cloud. But it actually wasn't a cloud, because I saw the cloud open up, and I saw the light, reveal itself. But then it closed back up. And when it closed back up, it wasn't an explosion, but it blew some shit up. It was quiet though. It wasn't no loud bang. It wasn't anything. And when it blew it up, it was a far distance from me. But when it blew it up, it wasn't. I thought it was you would think that it would have concrete and stuff in it, but no, it just disintegrated everything. So I started running because I saw the debris cloud coming. And normally you have like the aftershock or whatever. You have the blast wave. It wasn't that. It was a big ass debris cloud. It was just clear white. So whatever that hit, it just disintegrated everything. And I started running, but I was like, I can't outrun it. It's going. The angel that was with me, or whoever was with me, said it's gonna make it to the ocean. It's gonna make it to the water. So I stopped and just covered up my face. So it won't, to give me a filter, cover up my face with my shirt to give me a filter. But I say that to say this: get yourselves right, because this is gonna come just like that. It's gonna come just like that. This goes with another vision I had about a year and a half ago. I don't know how long it was, maybe 2 years, a year and a half ago, that I was walking and the whole earth was scorched. I mean, just scorched, but it was just me walking on the scorched earth. But there was a newspaper on the ground, like a brand new newspaper, and all it said, it just had a headline that said, all of Judea saved. So we are Judea. This goes with another vision I had, where I was looking out of the window, and I was telling my wife something is about to happen, because I was looking in the skies. The sun, the moon was starting to creep over where the sun. So we waiting. I was like, when that moon crosses over in front of that sun, something gonna happen. So we looking, and the moon crossed over to the sun. Everything got dark. So I'm looking, but nothing happened. So I said, all right, I closed the window. And after maybe a minute or two, it got back bright. And I was telling my wife, I was like, well, nothing happened. So I looked out the window again, but when I looked out the window again, I was looking down on the ground. People were looking up at the sky. And when they were looking up at the sky, I saw on each, maybe a distance of, I don't know what the distance was, but it was just plumes of smoke coming up from the earth and going straight up in the sky. Two of them, like two big old pillars, two big plumes of smoke. So I'm looking at that, because in my dream, I was saying I had a dream of that. Two big old plumes of smoke. And as I looked back in the sky, it was these spaceships. They were like clear, but they was almost like in triangles. It's hard to explain. And the spaceships had, you can see into each one of them, and they were huge. And each one of them almost, it's like they had a city inside of them. And on the side of them, I don't know why, it was a luxurious Cadillac Escalade just hanging on the side of it, like that. But they were coming out of a bigger ship, and they was coming out and they was going to different parts. And one was coming close to where me and my wife was. And I'm looking, and something told me that's to pick up the children of Israel. But it was beautiful, and when I'm looking in it, they huge, and I'm looking inside it, and they got cities in them. And as I said, a black Cadillac Escalade just hanging on the side of it. I don't know why. I don't even have a Cadillac. I do like them brand new Cadillac Escalades though. That goes with several more I've had pertaining to that, because I had another vision. I was sitting outside. I was sitting in a chair, and this white guy I know was sitting in the chair with me. We were facing each other, and we were talking. But then his eyes turned red, and it was at night. So I want to say around midnight, it got pitch black. And when it got pitch black, his eyes got big like this. And when his eyes got big, he disappeared. And while I'm sitting in pitch blackness, it was this man, like, you can say, like, I don't want to call them gowns, but you know how the Muslims wear the thobes? Had one of them on and some sandals. But he was huge. He was literally probably about 500 or 600 feet tall. And it was pitch black. Only reason I saw him because he sideways walked across my ear like that. And I turned around and I saw him, and he was huge. Just like that angel was with all that armor in one of my other visions, about 500 or 600 feet tall. And he was huge. But then I was transferred from that to daylight on the interstate. And I was on the interstate, and there was a whole bunch of cars. They were just backed up. They were trying to leave, but I wasn't in a car. I was just in my body. But they were trying to leave. But it was a traffic jam. They couldn't move. So I'm in the middle of it, in the interstate, and all of a sudden, I rise up in my body, wasn't in the vehicle or nothing, and I started flying. Now, as I'm flying, I have other spaceships around me flying with me. And as we're flying, I just see them shooting bullets. Now, it wasn't bullets, but shooting at the people on the ground. I mean, just shooting at them. And we just flying. I'm like in the middle, and they're surrounding me. And I just see them shooting on the ground, but everywhere I went, they went. But I wasn't shooting. I was just still in my body, just flying the way I do. But they were in ships, and they were shooting on the ground. See, I've had many visions like this. That's why I don't worry about anything. When people come like this right here and they're talking against the Most High God, I don't worry about anything. Because the Most High God has told me, like I said several times in visions, you ain't got to fight no more. Talking to me, I ain't got to fight no more. So these, I mean, I've had plenty more. I had another while I was in my old neighborhood here in Memphis. And I was standing outside in the yard. So I'm always in my old neighborhood because my mom died right before me. I was 11, and that's still kind of hurtful. Right before my 12th birthday. So I'm in my old neighborhood, and I'm standing in the yard. And a flying saucer comes. It's real small though. It lands in the front yard. Now I'm looking at it, but I'm in the street in front of the house. But it's real small. So I try to get on my stomach and try to slide past it. Because when it landed, it was so small, but a little antenna, almost like a little handle or something, came up out of the top of it, and like it was looking for something. So I tried to crawl past it, which it was about 10 yards from me, because I was crawling in the driveway, it was in the yard. And as I tried to crawl past it, the little thing, it snatched me. And when it snatched me, it pulled me inside of it. And when it pulled me inside of it, it took me straight up. And when it took me straight up, we ended up like going through the firmament. Then we went into like an ocean, because the Most High said he made the firmament to separate the waters above from the waters below. But we went in the firmament, but I was still in my body now though. I was no longer in the flying saucer anymore. And when we go in, it was a younger version of me. Now I'm in the water. I don't have any scuba gear on, but I could breathe. But I'm thinking I'm finna drown, but I could breathe. And I'm seeing these little animals or whatever. But anyway, I come back down. And when it brings me back down, I'm back in the spaceship now. So when I come out of the spaceship, I pop up. And when I pop up, it's almost like I'm on a conveyor belt with my back going down the street. And as I'm going down the street and I'm moving, first I'm moving slow, but as I moved slow, then I started moving fast. And as I moved faster, my body started changing. And I went from young to, I guess, the age I am now. And then before you know it, I had like this armor on or whatever. But I've had plenty. But those are just some I wanted to share, because I said I was going to share them. But when I had this one last night with all them fighter jets shooting over my head, and I thought there was a drill, and this joint got popped, blew by that big whatever it was in the sky, because all I saw was a cloud and the lights. Then I saw it destroy some stuff. So I say that to say, this ain't no joke. Get yourselves right, Israel, because the Most High Lord God, my Father, he's not playing. Shalom.